This is Mindfulness with Richard. I'm Richard Clarke. Welcome. This series focuses on mindfulness meditation. Listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Now, today, I want to talk about the four means and the six virtues. Last week, I talked about everyday Zen, where the foundational ideas are maybe 1,400 years old from China. Ideas and practices that have been kept alive for many centuries or millennia remain with us because they help to live a worthwhile life. Now, I'm going to start another series based on even older ideas from India. In English, they're called the four means and six virtues, or the four qualifications. In Sanskrit, there's a sadhana chatushya. Their roots are about twice as old as the teachings of everyday Zen. They're reflected in the Yoga Sutras, which are the ancient foundations of yoga, and they were codified by Shankara a few hundred years before the ideas of everyday Zen. These four means are essential for attaining spiritual realization or enlightenment, and they are the foundation of all spiritual practice. They're designed to help you purify the mind, overcome ignorance and attachment, and develop inner wisdom. The idea is that realization doesn't just happen. You have to be ready. So assist seekers prepare, these four are laid out. They are: first is discrimination, or viveka. This is being able to tell the difference between what is permanent and what is transient, what is temporary. The second is dispassion, or detachment. That's vairagya. And this is non-attachment, not desiring what is transient and impermanent, turning away from the impermanent towards what is permanent, what is always there. Now, next are what they call discipline. Here, these are also called the six jewels, or shat sampat. And this is dropping trivial activities and turning towards the teaching and what is permanent. These six jewels are: the first is sama, which is peace of mind. If the mind is clear about the temporary nature of worldly pleasures, then sama comes automatically. Next is Dhamma, which is control of the external senses. If Viveka and Vairagya are strong, then it's easy to practice Dhamma. Next is Uparati. This is renunciation, turning away from the world, free from the influence of external objects, from the fruits of one's action. When Viveka and Vairagya are strong, then Uparati happens automatically. Next is Titaksha, which is forbearance, endurance. When the mind has a definite goal, then it faces all the challenges, difficulties, and obstacles with ease. Then there is Shraddha, which is faith, certainty about your path. Faith is the trust in the words of the teacher and the teaching. Finally, it's faith in yourself. And then the last of the six are samadhamma, which is concentration, deep meditation. By viveka and vairagya, the mind automatically becomes more concentrated. And then finally is desire for liberation, or mumukshutvam. This is the desire for enlightenment and liberation, which eventually overcomes all other more superficial desires. One filled with this desire lives every moment of their life in the diligent pursuit of truth, totally possessed by their desire for self-realization. Now, the most important of these is desire for liberation. This is what drives your practice. This helps your perseverance and ability to overcome obstacles. Next is discrimination. You have to be able to see what's going on within yourself and notice what you see. This is a lot of what mindfulness is about. Most of what you see are appearances, objects, thoughts, feelings, memories, and desires. These all are temporary. They come and go. So discriminate the transient from the permanent. What does not come and go? Detachment naturally grows as your discrimination becomes deeper. It is also helpful to explore and investigate your sense of happiness. What is the source of happiness? Is it from things, or is it from within? Really look at this. The more you know the source of happiness is within, the less you will be attached to the things of the world. With the deepening of discrimination and detachment, the process becomes natural, and these six jewels come seemingly on their own with your deepening and continuing practice. Now, in the next weeks, I'm going to go over each of these four jewels, or four means and six jewels. So we'll investigate each of them to a greater depth. I wanted just to introduce you to them this week and this session. So I have to ask now, how was your meditation? Let us start with Richard. You got here first.
Okay. It's steady, consistent,
That's good.
waiting for nothing to happen.
That's a great expression of it. Now, how about you, Doug?
It's it's been a quiet week. There doesn't seem to be so many distractions, or maybe I've just learned how to ignore the distractions.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I'm learning that.
Right, right.
But it seems that this week has been pretty quiet, so the meditations have been good.
Very good. And, the best quiet is the quiet that comes from us.
Mm.
How about you, Barley?
I'm still working on it. Nothing spectacular.
Well, that's good as long as you're continuing just to keep it
Yeah.
up and keep it going.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. How about you, Carol?
Nothing new to report. Been good meditations when we've done them. Maybe we've missed a
Uh-huh.
couple days here and there.
Uh-huh. Anyway, very good. So now let us start with uh, our first meditation. This I tried to find an image that I could use for the four means, and I couldn't find a good image. So I used one of those image generating AIs, and this is the graphic that we got. And so we will start with our meditation. Mindfulness is present moment awareness, paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally, fully receive whatever is experienced, then let it go. Relax. Look for joy in the moment. Let experiences and thoughts come. Let them be. Let them go. Become present. Focus on body sensations, then breathing sensations, then the breath. Oh, great. And now we have a video, and this is by the Swami Sarva Priyananda that I was talking to Richard about. The name of this is Who's Ready for Spiritual Life?
Even if I've talked to people that in my day-to-day life that seem to be in suffering, and I like explain things that are starting to help me. I'm not saying that I'm enlightened or realized or anything like that, but like in other jivas, there's just maybe the veil of ignorance is so strong that there's either no interest, they think it's false, or they just don't understand,
Right.
and don't seek, or the message doesn't resonate. Like, what is it that makes us ready to?
Right. What is it that makes us
steps.
ready? Why does Vedanta appeal to somebody and not to others? See, the basic requirement is there in everybody. What is the basic requirement? If we feel we are dissatisfied with this particular state of things in my life, that's enough for you to start on spiritual life. That's enough. But what happens in most cases is we feel that quite apart from spirituality, there is something available right here in this world which will serve to take away my suffering and give me peace of mind. Yeah, spirituality, religion, maybe, yes. But I'd really be happy if I got $1 million. No, No, I don't want $1 million. I just want $100,000. That's enough. Be happy. Or I'll really be happy if I get this nice house in the suburbs with a nice school district. That's what is not Vedanta. This relationship, this amount of wealth, this amount of success, and I have got it. Now there are people who strongly feel that. And no amount of persuasion will dissuade them from that. The only thing that will work is experience. Let them go through it many times. Then they'll begin to see neither this nor that is helping me. Then one awakens into something higher. And that could be spiritual life. And there are stages. One awakens from pure pursuit of materialism to a moral and ethical life. That makes you happier. From just being a good person, I'm a good person but an atheist, to awakening to a higher power. From being a devout bhakta, devotee, Catholic or something, to the pursuit of jnana, of spiritual knowledge. That higher power is within me. So there are stages of awakening. And it depends on the readiness. So the readiness, in Sanskrit it's called adhikara. Adhikara means person qualified. And qualification consists of two things. Yogyata, capacity, and akanksha, the desire, the aspiration. Both must be there. And both come through life. Life teaches you. It's the wise one who takes the lesson very quickly and moves on. It's the foolish person who keeps on repeating it and churning his wheels in the mud and trying to just digging oneself in deeper and deeper and deeper, while precious time flies by. Precious time flies by. And soon nothing more can be done. You have to wait for the next life. But that is not lost. In the next life, a person becomes a much wiser person. And say, your parents will say, what a wise and mature child. That's one. Another way of looking at it is, first of all, we try to make ourselves happy by rearranging the world, by changing the world. My circumstances in the world must be different. A better house, a better car, a better relationship. We try to reform the world, we try to reform others. Make others, they should behave like this and they should not behave. The main purpose is they should all be consistently and endlessly nice to me. That's the basic thing. If you say it out loud, it sounds silly, but that's what we're trying to do. Then slowly we realize that doesn't work. It's very difficult to rearrange the world. Even if you do according to your liking, it still is not particularly satisfying. By the time the world has fallen into the perspective you want it to be, you have moved on and changed. It is no longer satisfying to you. Then you become mature. You try to rearrange your own life. Okay, I'm going to get up early and I'm going to do yoga and I'm going to eat gluten-free and that will make me happy. Rearrange the physical circumstances of your life. Very soon you see, no, that's not going to make me happy. Then you go further. No, the real thing is inside. I'm going to rearrange my mind. I will have holy thoughts. I will think about my Ishta Devata. I will repeat my mantra, and or I will calm my mind down in meditation and follow the breath and things like that. That works much better if you do it seriously. But even that's not ultimate. I'm now speaking from the Vedanta perspective. Finally, you come to who is this I who is trying to be materialistically happy or morally happy, ethically happy or spiritually happy. All of these projects belong to the I. Who or what is that I? When you investigate it, you find the real I, Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham, who does not need any of it. Who does not need the wealth and pleasure of the world, who does not need the high moral, ethical life. Not that the person becomes unethical, remember, that's a wrong understanding. Who does not even need spirituality. Shankara said, you say, who said that? You're making it up. No. Remember that Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, Shankaracharya sings, I am Shiva, and of the nature of bliss and consciousness. One of the lines goes, Na dharmo na chartho na kamo na moksha. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. What do people want? They want pleasure. I don't need it. What do people want? They want power and wealth and success. I don't need it. What do people want? They want virtue so that they can go to heaven after death. I don't need that also. What do people want? They don't want any of that. They want moksha. They want to come to Vedanta society and get liberated and enlightened. I don't need that also. Who needs that? The ignorant person needs it. I am Satchidananda. Why do I need moksha? So that's how it comes. Step by step. Unless one is ready, it'll take time. You can save yourself a lot of grief and lot of effort and time and many lives by coming straight to Advaita. Many people think non-dualism, it's really dry and abstract and the final thing. No, I think it's the easiest thing. It's the direct approach. Why not do that? Ramana Maharshi was once asked, am I qualified for Vedanta, for Advaita Vedanta, non-dualism? Am I qualified for non-dualism? And Ramana answered, did you say I? Because his main method was, who am I? If you can use the word I, you are qualified. If you are using the word I, and we all are, who is not? In that case, you have got an I. That means the vertical I, not this one. I was talking about getting the eyes checked, going to the eye doctor, and then somebody said to me, Swami, you are also an eye doctor in one sense. the vertical eye. Oh God. Yes. Since we have it within ourselves all the time, why take a roundabout route? Why not walk straight to it? Who am I? Who is the I who is trying to be worldly successful, who is trying to be moral and ethical, who is trying to be spiritual? Who is that? What is that I? Yeah.
So now we will do some more meditation. And during this meditation, pay attention to the instant when your breath starts to change. Between each cycle, from up to down and down to up, there is a small pause. Just notice this pause in between your breaths. All right. And let's close with a chant. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace,
Yes.
peace, peace. All right. Any questions or discussion?
I like that video. He seems to have a lot to say. He's talking about going straight to the non-dualism. It sort of reminded me of the struggle that transsexuals go through,
Mm-hmm.
where they start and many of them remain there of choosing one gender or another, saying if I'm not that gender, then I must be the other one,
Mm-hmm.
and get caught up in that. But if you look past that binary,
Mm-hmm.
then you just discover that, well, you don't have to be one or the other. There may
Mm-hmm.
be many genders, or there may be an infinite number of genders.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ramana Maharshi, who he talked about, said really two different things. He first said, before you're through, you're going to have to inquire. So why wait around? Just start there to begin with. He also said, though not as loud, is that everybody is not ready. And, if you're not ready, then you need to do some things to prepare yourself, starting with really what is karma yoga, doing selfless service. Then after that is bhakti yoga, devotion to some god. Both karma yoga and bhakti yoga are aimed at some external god, some external power. And then finally, when you start getting into meditation and deeper practice, you're starting to look for something inside yourself. And for me, that is much more powerful. And, I relate to it much more naturally, looking within myself instead of outside for what I'm looking for somehow has become kind of natural to me now.
There's a story of the hound of heaven. You think you're looking for the hound of heaven. The hound of heaven is looking for you much more. And for me in my life, I always thought the answers were outside, like, make the money, have a nice car, have a nice home.
Mm-hmm.
And, all these things were offered, and I discovered that wasn't it.
Mm-hmm.
And so somehow through grace, there was a shift to go within.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I love about this teaching is the idea that it's not about transformation. Transformation is when you become something that you were not. And the way it expresses it is it's more a matter of revelation than transformation. And what is being revealed to you is who you always have been anyway.
Mhm. Yeah.
And to me, that's a lot easier than trying to figure out how to be something else, you know? I have enough trouble figuring out how to be me. Anyway, we'll go through the details of this in coming weeks. Next time, we'll talk about discrimination. And in some ways, I think that really is the key to the whole process once you really start to feel like that it's something for you. The thing about discrimination is it something you can do, and it's something you can focus your mind on, you can investigate, you can check it out within yourself, and these other parts of it start to open up naturally as you get better at seeing for yourself, within yourself, what is it that comes and goes, and what is it that doesn't. And for me, now, one of the things that I know is there is something within me that I can't give a name to, that isn't really within me, I think, but there is something that is always there. The stuff of the world comes and goes up and down, but what is there is always there. And it's never more at one time or less than another time. So for me, seeing that is one of the things that really brings me peace. And I see it because it's something that I have looked at and examined and investigated within myself now, literally thousands of times. And, you know, after a while, a pattern starts to show up, even to my slow mind. Okay.
Oh, it's good. You have a slow mind. My first spiritual teacher used to say a fast mind is sick, a slow mind is sound, a still mind is divine.
Uh-huh.
So slow mind is wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, thank you for all coming together today and slowing our minds down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very
Namaste.
good. Namaste. See you next week.